How we doing, fellas? Happy 4th of July to you. Your commissioner here. We're back. It's been a long time. It's been probably, I don't know, maybe 7, 6, maybe 5 years since the last video. You know, it's been a while. Um, Certainly cannot wait to get the season going here. Cheers. Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. Happy birthday, Mr. Plunk. Um, Hopefully y'all have had a few more beers than I've had. So let me quickly take you through a little tour of the new Casa here. See, I was kind of shooting in my. There we go. It's kind of weird to look at. There's the new. There's the dining room there. Get a little look-see into the kitchen. Can't really see on that's a bunch of shit still on the countertop there. What are you gonna do? Clean it? Probably not. That's not what commissioners do. Take on a little tour in here. Fuck. I wish this was like a fucking iPhone so you could flip it around. A little bathroom action there. Obviously, guest bedroom. I think some magic happened on that bed between Nick and D-Shade a few weeks ago. Fucking queers. Then we got the old orifice here with no office supplies in it yet. Just a bed. Can you see the bed? There's the bed. These stuff closed off most of the time. I don't really entertain a whole lot. Let's see. We'll wait for the living room here in a little bit. Let's see, we got a big old yard out here. Big old yard. It's got a real ass on it, if you know what I mean. Continues off over there to the side. Little fun fact for you, Brody's fast enough, caught a lizard today. Killed it, almost ate it. You can see here, this is where I spend most of my time. In the living room here, watch a little All or Nothing. I'm starved for football, needless to say. And then here's where the real magic happens. All right, we got the bedroom, the master bedroom, brand new bed. Got the TV mount. Shout out to Councilman Rip for hooking that up. Gonna go in here to the bathroom. Got the closet, the water closet, the shower, of course, and that's it. That's the house. So, oh yeah, there's the utility room there, real quick. So, you know, we've got the draft order set, we've got a draft date set, we've got the keepers locked in, we've got the trophy on the way, we've got the changes pretty much finalized out for the season. You know, so we're cooking, fellas. We're cooking with oil here. I haven't mastered the little one-hand unbutton as you sit down with the suit jacket. So actually, I just wore this jacket last time, was in D.C. Little work, you know, no big deal. Had to fly out to D.C., you know, try to get some more money, a little wine and dine with old Donnie America. Had to give a little presentation. It is what it is, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if I was director probably within the next couple years, for being honest. So I just kind of wanted to do a little video to kick off the season, even though we're still 6 weeks away from the draft. Just kind of let everyone know the keepers, kind of what I think about the keepers, the draft order, and then some whatever rule changes we're making to the season. So we'll start off with the draft order. Obviously, Councilman Rip selected the first pick in the draft. Hawk had the second go about it and picked number 12. Then that came to your commissioner. I picked the second pick, kind of a no-brainer there. I was able to leverage that into the first pick. Obviously, I really wanted David Johnson. I was pretty sure Le'Veon Bell and Ezekiel Elliott were going to be gone. Probably the most potential to be the top 3 picks in the draft. DJ's my guy, man. DJ's my guy. I love him. So I gave up 102 and 302 to go up to 101. I also got Rip's 5th round pick as well. Then we got ASAP Dunk picking 3. We got Wilson decided to pick 11 with the intent of keeping Julio. Salvi got to pick 4. Savoy's picking 5. Your assistant to the commissioner, Mr. Nick, two-time champ, is picking 6. Then we got Mr. Plunk, Richie Rich himself picking 10, Blaine picking 9, Ford picking 8, and your reigning champion JD picking in about the middle of the draft, I guess it's 7. Don't have real high hopes for JD to repeat. We had a newcomer in the league a couple years ago, Jacob Rawlings. He came in, won the first year, promptly got his ass kicked the second year, and then promptly left the league. So, I mean, hopefully, JD, we can keep you in, but I would just be looking forward to getting a thorough ass beating, maybe a couple wins for you this year, probably not much more than that, just like the Cowboys. So moving on to the keepers, kind of go round by round here. So in the first round, we have Dylan keeping Julio Jones, probably I'd say the best receiver in the league when healthy. At pick 11, we got Ezekiel Elliott being kept at like whatever Ford was picking, like 9, I think. He's in some legal trouble. Mr. Ford seems to not care about domestic violence. I just want to reiterate, as your commissioner, we're doing everything in our power to look into it. We're going to make sure the right decision's made. We certainly don't condone Mr. Ford's actions, but he is entitled to his opinion, and we'll just leave it at that. And then obviously we have Hawk keeping Le'Veon Bell at the end of round 1. Quite a steal there, if I do say so myself. If he can stay off the weed, you got to stay off the weed there, Lev. Moving into the second round, we've got a couple keepers. LaShawn McCoy being kept by Rip at the end of the second. Obviously there's value there because he was going to go sooner than that. But he's getting old. He's getting old, and he's got Jay Will right behind him. So, got to say Jay Will's probably better than him, probably the best back in the league, along with Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis. So, I'd be looking maybe a 50-50 split with that. And then, obviously, JD is keeping Mike Evans in the second round. Very good value there. Mike Evans is a stud. Y'all will probably hear the dishwasher. I tested it. I don't think you can hear it, but you might be able to hear it. Whatever, it's part of being a homeowner. I got to do chores and shit. So, let's see. No one in the third. Carlos Hyde in the fourth. Garbage. Just don't even use a keeper, Nick. I mean, you had no one on your fucking team that was worth a shit. I mean, this is why you were in the shit tier. I mean, take a lesson. Take a lesson from Ford. All right, Ford was dog shit 2 years ago. Didn't use his keeper. Said, hey, I've got no value on my team. I'm just not even going to use it. Instead, I'm going to get a better player in that round. And you know what? You did, Ford. You made the playoffs. Whatever. It happens every fucking blue moon. You don't have any championships yet. You can't finish. You didn't even make the championship game. So I wouldn't get too high. But, Nick, Carlos Hyde's dog shit. The 49ers line is dog shit. The 49ers are dog shit, Nick. I mean, you just that's a terrible pick. But whatever, your funeral. You want to keep finishing last. By all means, I enjoy it. It's good beer. Good cold beer. No one in the 5th. We got Blaine keeping Melvin in the 6th. Great value, solid, great player. We got Savoy, first year in the league. Also, I just want to take a moment to welcome our two newest members, Mr. Wilson and Mr. Santiago. Real pleasure to have you guys. Savoy, I think you're gonna do real well in this league. I think you're gonna come in and compete. Wilson, I think you're pretty much just lucky to be here, if we're being honest. I've heard the rumblings. You think we take this too serious, and hey, that's fine. You don't want to take it serious. You've been in the league before. You've been kicked out before. I don't want to do it. I want to keep the same core, 12 guys together as long as possible. But push comes to shove, I've got no problem. Forgot where I was at. All right. Let's see. So Craig's keeping Tom Brady in the 8th. We'll cut that. In post. Whatever. He's immortal. Great. Fucking la-di-da. Duncan's keeping JHI in the 9th round. Again, very solid value there. A lot of good value this year. 10th has a couple people. Plunk keeping Isaiah Crowell. Fight milk. Give you the strength to fight like a crow. And then obviously I'm keeping Michael Thomas in the 10th. This guy's going to be number 1 wide receiver. I'm getting in the 10th round. This just continues my managerial skills, even though we didn't win it last year, fell short of the playoffs. Getting the value of David Johnson last year, getting the value of Michael Thomas this year, I know how to find hidden gems in the draft, and I guarantee you I'll do it this year as well. It's going to be a long video for the first one of the year, but the tour kind of took away from that, and then a little slip. That's it. I guess, yeah. No one later than the 10th round. It's looking like we're going to be 15 rounds this year, I believe. 9 starters, 6 bench slots, salutes, if you will. Let me pull up the changes real quickly, and then I'll let y'all get out of here. If you haven't looked at the Constitution, the changes to the season, please do. I know Savoy has. I'm sure Wilson doesn't give a fuck. Now, the Constitution, for the most part, hasn't changed for the older guys who've been here for a while. But do glance over the changes. Unless you're in the council, we talk about this usually monthly, bi-monthly. The big one. I'm sorry to break the news to you, Ford, but kickers, they're fucking out of here. You're fucking out of here. You're gone. They're out of the league. They are being replaced by an independent defensive player. It can be any position that you choose. The scoring is kind of set up: half a point for a tackle, sacks, pass to flex, interceptions, forced fumbles, blocks, maybe. You can look at the details in the thing. We have we're adding a addendum to the keeper policy. So keepers will be done per usual. You get your 1 keeper on your roster for 6 weeks, got to be drafted. You keep them where you drafted them for 1 season. We might add free agents to that. Councilman Salvatore is working up a proposal. We'll see how that looks. Son of a bitch. Cardinals just gave up a 3-run homer. We'll see. Probably won't happen, but we're adding a franchise player. So the details aren't 100% worked out yet. We'll kind of workshop this at the draft. But basically, it's going to be like a single dynasty player. You draft this guy. I think he's got to be on your team the whole season. You draft him, you keep him on your team the whole season. And then at the end of the year, you've signed him to a contract. You don't have to sign anybody to a contract if you don't want. You can only do one. But basically, you sign them for however many years you want. You want to sign them for 10 years? Go for it. It's no draft penalty against you, but if you cut them early, you're shit out of luck. You're going to be penalized. You know, if you sign them to a 10-year deal, you cut them after 1 year, you're probably going to be giving up your first-round pick. It's just gone, and that pick's just going to go to the bottom of the draft, and that's where you get your player. So there are going to be repercussions for cutting early. Now you trade them, you get out of the contract. You know, you pawn a bad contract off to a shitty owner like Rip or Plunk, then good on you. And that way you can have multiple franchise players. But you can't sign a new one every year. You see what I'm saying? You sign one player 1 year, you sign him for 3 years. You can't sign another franchise player for 3 years unless you trade for another one, and then you inherit that contract. So that's basically the loose structure of it. Like I said, we'll work out some more details at the draft, but just so you know to think about in your draft preparation. There isn't a round penalty, but just be thinking like, hey, I might want to keep this guy for a long time. We had made some minor tweaks to the defensive scoring. We'll still kind of hammer that out at the draft. We replaced Hunter Hawkins on the council with Craig Salvatore. Honestly, hasn't been a whole lot better. Craig Salvatore is a pretty shitty council member so far. He's only made one meeting out of maybe 4 or 5. But you know, that's 1,000 times more than what Hawk made previously. Obviously, Trey Edgerton was kicked out of the league by 4-1 votes. Dylan Wilson replaced. Lex Luthor was also kicked out by unanimous vote, was replaced by Mr. Santiago. We bumped our entry fee up from $25, I think, last year to $40 now. And then there's also an additional $10 fee that's going to me for paying for the trophy and the draft board for this year. The $10 fee, excuse me, the $10 fee is due at the draft, on or before the draft. The $50 is not due until, I think it's like week 6. I think it's the same as keepers. And if you don't get it in by week 6, you won't make the playoffs, period. Done. So we had to do it a couple years ago. It was not pretty sight that way. Guy was also kicked out of the league, so that's also something you'll have to worry about. So, you know, I think other than that, you know, pretty long video, but I think pretty good. A lot of info. Got to see the new digs. Feel free to come on down and visit. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Even though if y'all were fucking smart, you could probably just read it. I've done a pretty good job of explaining it or watching it, listening, you know. So, you know, without further ado, I guess, you know, y'all have a safe 4th. Don't pull a JPP. I don't want any missing limbs come draft time, August 12th. I believe it rips. We'll make sure we hammer that out. We'll get a time hammered down. Definitely earlier than we want to draft. But to accommodate all league members, I'm looking at you fucking fat ass, Connor Plunk. We're drafting earlier. So, anyways, like I said, fellas, have a happy 4th. Happy birthday again, Plunk. And whoop pig. Fucking stop the video.